the Executive Director, Healthcare Facilities Sector. Let me introduce Her Excellency Hind Mubarak Al Zaabi. Can you come to stage, our gorgeous lady?
So I want to introduce you with a very fine lady in Emirates. She is coming from Abu Dhabi. And as you know that when the COVID came and Abu Dhabi was, and UAE in general was one of the top 5 countries who cooperate very nice. So it's all the contribution by health department, and she's the executive director. Please welcome her over.
Can I have a big round of applause?
Can I have the presentation,
Yes.
please? You want to get
No, please.
I think those microphones are working, so yeah, absolutely. Yes. Stand on the podium. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, friends, colleagues, partners, and the new friends that I just make here with Professor Shirley and everyone here in the room. I would like to thank you all for the energy. Thank you for inviting me today. Can you have the presentation, please? Thank you for inviting me today, especially that we are celebrating Emiratis women. And mashallah, all the presentation, the previous presentation was one slide. One ahead. No.
You have the, yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to share the picture. Where is it?
The other one.
Oh. There was a picture here, but it disappeared. Anyway. No, it's not coming. Well, guys, the one who presented previously, you raised the bar very high, and it's really challenging to beat your energy or to beat your vibe. Thank you very much for raising the bar, and hence we have here an influencer, so let's take a chance to promote ourselves. And I should, mention my Instagram account and LinkedIn to get connected, But before I start introducing myself, I just want to tell you a story. Hence, I was driving from Abu Dhabi to Dubai today morning, and there was an accident on the road. And I was praying Allah that no one will get hurt. And when I passed through the accident, I saw the paramedics, and they were women. Women were saving lives while I was coming on the way to Dubai. That just happened on my way to this event. And this struck me as well. Choose your diamonds wisely. Actually, you chose your diamonds wisely. Hence, you bring all of these people in this room. It just struck my attention. So thank you so much. Thank you. So my name is Hind Zaabi, and I'm Executive Director at the Department of Health Abu Dhabi. And I was born in a very humble family where my father used to drive an ambulance car. My late father used to drive an ambulance car in Al Jazeera Hospital. Today, people who live in Abu Dhabi would know that Al Jazeera Hospital is an extension of Sheikh Khalifa Medical City. My mother, from the early days, she understood and realized that gender equity has to happen at home. So she raised 5 boys and 5 girls. No bias. So my mother, who set the rules at house, she's a humble housewife and gave us those early lessons in our early days. She said, before you get married, you have to get your degree and you have to get your driving license. I didn't understand why she's putting such tough rules. But then I realized that she was teaching us, motivating us to be self-dependent and self-motivated and self-sufficient. She doesn't want us to be a burden on anybody in the society, and she wants us to play a vital role in the society. So she set an early days rules and principle in the house, and that was my main driver to reach where I am right now. She's my inspiration, so I thought to bring my mother in the presentation. I studied in higher colleges of technology. I got my degree, and I studied in public school. I got I got health information management bachelor, and also I continue my master in business administration and health information management. And today I'm pursuing my doctorate of business administration in Abu Dhabi University. And that all funded by the government with a scholarship. I never felt like I need somebody to, that I need to sponsor myself. So this is me. Today, I am an executive director of a healthcare facility sector at the Department of Health Abu Dhabi. And I'm also a member in the board of directors in the Department of Health. And I'm also a member in International Hospital Federation and board member in Arab Hospital Federation and a member in International Quality Healthcare Society, ISQA. I've managed, during my career path, I've managed a mega project that worth more than 1.5 billion by creating a command operations center at the Department of Health. And today, I'm managing the transformational model of care of the mental health, primary care, maternal care, medical tourism, and center of excellence. So this is, in summary, about myself as Hind. During my career life, I never felt like I was in a gender competition or I need to fight for my right, because that was established at early days of the establishment of this country, where our late father, Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan, has established the Women Union in 1973 to empower and strengthening women during the early days of this country. And Her Highness Sheikha Fatima bint Mubarak, the chairwoman of the Women Union and the Family Foundation, has continued and led that journey. She is the prime mover and the key behind the success of empowering women, where today our country is considered as a successful country when it comes to women equity and women empowerment and women protection, plus full participation of the women in the society. So that was her objectives to continue. And today, that is demonstrated in the UAE cabinet. UAE cabinet has third of the cabinet are women who are leading a very tough files. Under those leaders, they have multiple tasks to achieve, one of which is food security, education, early education, all the way to the space. No one will forget the mission to Mars, which was led by Her Excellency Sarah Al-Amiri. No one will forget the great achievement and accomplishment of Dubai Expo 2020, which was led by Her Excellency Reem Al-Hashmi. No one will forget when, during the pandemic, everyone was thriving for food and drugs. In the UAE, we're dispatching that to the other countries, helping other countries, and that because of Her Excellency Maryam Al-Mahiri, who led the food security project and the comprehensive program. Plus, Her Excellency Hissa Abu Hamid, who is leading the community development, the entire community development. So all of these powerful ladies are protecting the community and the society and the cabinet. On the other hand, in the UAE National Parliament, by constitute, as the UAE is leading by doing. We are not talking, we are not saying that we are empowering women, we are actually implementing that in reality. Today, those women are in the parliament and they are representing 50% of the national parliament. And also, they are tackling a very sensitive file under that platform, such as domestic violence, women's rights, or women's, or the health and education, and also the human resources policies, and also the housing. So these ladies are tackling a sensitive files that is touching directly the community, and their voice is heard equally at the national parliament, 50%, and that has happened by constitution. I like pictures. By the way, when I present anything, I just present pictures and pictures. I don't like text. At international level, and one of my colleagues has mentioned that today, Emiratis women are represented internationally as ambassadors and leading those diplomatic dialogues in the political format and political platforms. So those ladies are representing the UAE at international level in different forums, and we are so proud of them. This is my favorite slide, so I have to talk a lot about this slide. Those are my medical heroes who actually managed the pandemic. Everyone, oh, this, where is the face identity? Okay. So everyone knows Dr. Farid Al-Hussein. She's the beautiful face of the pandemic. She's the beautiful face. She was talking about the pandemic so, pleasantly. We love to see her on the screen. Dr. Farid Al-Hussein, she is an executive director of infectious disease at Abu Dhabi Public Health Center, and she's also a member in the World Health Organization in preparedness, in pandemic preparedness. And guess what? She was part of developing the pandemic manual that today is used by WHO. Dr. Farid Al-Hussein, she's not only the spokesperson, but she's also helping the other country how to manage, how to lead the pandemic. And she's, mashallah, and I cannot talk more about Dr. Farida because everyone knows Dr. Farida. On her right, on her left side actually, Dr. Omniyat Al-Hajri, she's also working as executive director in Abu Dhabi Public Health Center. I brought her name today because she was leading a very critical file, which is developing the helpline for the mental health and well-being for our frontline heroes who were working 24/7 to protect our life, to save the country from the pandemic. She has developed the helpline number in order to accommodate the psychological deficit that was happening on the serious days that all the countries has gone through. So Dr. Omniyat Al-Hajri has also worked on mental health for students in the school, because the students used to play with their friends in the school, and now during the pandemic they were sitting behind the screen. So imagine how their psychological effect or psychological behavior has been affected due to the change which was happening during the pandemic. So I thought to bring her name because the hefty lifting that she was doing during the pandemic just to secure the mental health and well-being. Not only that, but also for the senior citizen and also for the people of determination, she was dispatching the team to make sure that they are receiving the right treatment at home. So this is Dr. Omniyat Al-Hajri. Next to her is Dr. Nawal Al-Ka'bi. She's the senior consultant in Hayat Biotech, and she's the one who was leading the clinical trials for the vaccine, and she's the chairwoman of the Clinical National Committee to set the protocol and the guidelines for the treatment that was offered for the community. So she was telling us, you need to take this medication, you need to take that medication based on the variants, based on the new changes that is happening. So she was setting the whole protocols, the whole guidelines to the country to be used. And recently she was awarded with a prestigious award from Chinese government about her outstanding collaboration and cooperation with helping on building the clinical trials here in Abu Dhabi. She's one of my friends whom I'm really proud of. Next to her is Dr. Fatma Al-Kabi. By the way, they are not relative, but coincidentally, they are sharing the same family name. Dr. Fatma Al-Kabi, she's the first woman who's leading in bone marrow transplant program here in the UAE. So Dr. Fatma Al-Kabi also has developed a novel treatment using stem cell for the COVID patient by inhalation methodology, and this was FDA approved. Next to her, one of my favorite as well. Actually, I need a photographer. They told me we need to capture this moment, please, and share it with us. So where is the photographer? Right. Anyway. So Dr. Habiba Safar, she is a biologist and she's working in Khalifa University as associate professor. She managed to publish more than 100 papers in scientific journals about different genetic mutation, and she was working on the microbiology. Actually, she sent me some of the studies that she has completed, where she's the most scientific researcher in the detection of genetic markers of the causes of diabetes type 2. So she's working on our genetics. She's working to identify what is the reason behind developing diabetes type 2 based on genetic mutation. Also, she have more than 100, as I've mentioned, scientific paper published in scientific journals. She led scientific team to read the genetic sequence of the coronavirus since the beginning of the pandemic until now in environmental and clinical samples from the sewage to understand where the virus is coming. She studied the role of genetic markers in severe infections of the COVID. So all of these medical heroes that required one round of applause for them. And there are a lot to come. Our destination is in the moon. We are heading toward the moon with our first Emirati, who's now in NASA astronaut group, Noor Al-Matroushi. The sky is our limit. There is no limit of our ambitions. We, as a women, we are breaking every glass ceiling in front of us to reach to the moon. So I thought to end my presentation with these figures about the space industry, as women was representing 34% of Mars mission. Do you know that? 34% were behind the Mars mission were women, and 70% of the team behind the UAE astronaut program, they are women. 44% engineering undergraduate in the country are female on the space education. And also, in Masdar Energy Company in the UAE, women hold more than 20%. 70% of the graduates are women. And when it comes, I forgot that information, when it comes to the health sector, today the women are representing more than 63% in the health work sector. And during the pandemic, 43% were in the front line, and 30% of them were volunteering women. So let's... Finally, I thought to share this picture. This picture was published last year in Emirati's Women's Day. And they are saying, one picture says 1,000 words. For me, this picture tells the whole story about Emirati's women. We are inspired by our heritage, by our culture, looking toward bright future. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much for such a lovely presentation. I guess that the way you proud the achievements of your country's leaders' vision and your achievement, I wish that other countries can also follow the same trends. They can concentrate on the women empowerment, and they can move forward towards health as well. So the leaders like you, of course, are the examples and the sound. And you are the change, not only for UAE, but for the whole world.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Please have a big round of applause.
Well, we are empowered by system. We are empowered because women empowerment is within the system. It's integrated within the system. We never felt that we need to fight for our rights. It's there, and we think that model, integrated, holistic model, it's the right model for UAE, and maybe we are humbly offering that model to be utilized by other countries.
That's amazing.
Thank you
very much for joining us.